y'all, and good Tuesday morning. It is January 14th. It's my Monday now. My schedule just flipped, so I'm trying to get used to it. My Monday, your Tuesday. Or maybe it's your Wednesday, or your Thursday, or your Friday. I don't know. Anyway, the date on the calendar says Tuesday. We have a bunch of stories to get to. Of course, the biggest one is going to be the Astros. I kind of want to pick your brain on this, though. I want to know how deep you want us to dive in this. Our floor director, Davis, who is like maybe the biggest Astro fan I know, didn't want to talk about it at all today. Not at all. Like kind of hung his head and tried to ignore us when we were talking about it on TV. So do you just want to keep reading the articles? We have a ton of them linked on khou.com. Or do you want to get into this? You want to have the deep dive discussion? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to come back to this. Just going to hit the forecast really quick. So let's see if we can get a few comments and give us some direction. It is nasty foggy outside. I don't mind it in the morning, but it's going to heat up this afternoon into the, look, upper 70s. We're talking about a high of 77 today. So you're going to see scattered showers, lots of clouds. That fog still hasn't lifted. Don't know that it's going to for a while. And Blake actually says, we're really not going to see sunshine. Look at that 7-day forecast until like Sunday, Monday, maybe a peak of it on Saturday. So just get used to the gray. It's what I grew up in. So I don't mind it too terribly much. It's the mugginess that gets to me. I can go without the sun. Just don't make it like a sticky, damp. Let me know how you feel about the weather. All right, Brandon, can we check comments really fast and see how much folks want us to go into the Stros?
The first comment about it is from Amber, who says she wants to know, and people are already starting to strike up a conversation, so I think we should talk about it.
Okay, let's do it. The Astros are currently without a GM and a manager because they got fired by Astros owner Jim Crane yesterday after the MLB handed down its report and its punishments. It says that in the 2017 season, the Astros stole signs, and they did this through a system where they hid a camera out in the field, sent a signal back to the dugout, and players could watch it and signal the batter about what pitch was coming by banging on a trash can. All the technology in the world, and the Astros are using a trash can. But it apparently worked. MLB is really not happy. According to the report, this was kind of engineered and led by Alex Cora, who's now with the Red Sox. No punishments there yet. A lot of predictions that that's going to come down, and it's not going to be good for Cora and perhaps the Red Sox. So what did the Astros get? They got a $5 million fine. They lost their first and second round draft picks for the next 2 years. And the league suspended Jeff Luhnow and AJ Hinch. So we knew they weren't going to be on the field for a year because that's what the MLB said. But then Crane just said, we got to clean up. We got to clean out the dugout. So yeah, interesting offseason, to be sure. We have an article on khou.com kind of detailing more about how the sign stealing worked. Are there any specific questions that you have going forward? Because this is obviously going to be something we're covering over the next few days. I mean, really weeks, months as it develops. As the search continues for a manager, for a general manager. Brandon, I saw you shaking your head.
Yeah, we just have a question here from Laurel asking, are they going to take away our awards?
So at this point, the league says we're keeping our World Series title. Should we? As fans, do you feel like it's tainted now? That's part of a conversation we had on H-Town Rush this morning. And Blake Matthews says, no, it doesn't feel right. They cheated to get where they were, and it's always going to have that asterisk now. So let me know what you think. Again, we have a whole lot of information on khou.com. You can read up. You can read the statements from Luhnow and Hinch. I'll tell you the summary on social media of Luhnow's speech is basically that he threw everybody under the bus, players, lower level employees. Hinch seemed genuine. He apologized, said he was deeply sorry. So you can read those on khou.com. You can look at how the system was run. You can read the full MLB report. We've got it all on there if you want to do that deep dive. We will circle back to some comments and questions, so keep those coming if you have any. We already did the forecast. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping around this morning. Oh, yeah, the next story that we're doing, in case you're wondering the rhyme and reason to these, we do what you guys are clicking on and sharing. And our top story on KHOU right now isn't about the Astros. It's about this stalking case out of Clarksville, Indiana. So there's a woman who says she was walking around Walmart with her niece, her sister, her little baby there, and she noticed that these two guys just like wouldn't stop tailing them, followed them all through the store. No matter which aisle they went on, these guys were behind them. So finally, when she made the decision to leave, she asked the store manager to follow her out to her car. They got in safely, no issues. She did snap a picture. I'm not going to show it to you because the men haven't been charged with anything. But police in Clarksville really want anyone who feels unsafe in that situation to call them if they feel like there's a threat. In those situations, it's often someone who is doing repeated behavior, so you may not be the first victim. So be sure to call police if you feel like you are in danger. But just a scary, scary situation. I think she did the right thing by asking the store manager to escort her and her sister, niece, all out to the car, because, yeah, can't be too safe. Next up, Toyota is recalling 700,000 vehicles. We're talking about 2018, 2019 models, Toyota and Lexus. The fuel pump isn't working, so your engine could stall. Fun. There's a whole list of the models that are being recalled on khou.com. I don't want to list them all. It's pretty boring, but it's a lot. It's 700,000 vehicles. And then we got to talk about the national championship, right? There's a reason I'm wearing purple. My friend Megan's Tigers, the real Tigers. There's a whole background discussion that I got into during the game last night. I had no idea there are these, that LSU was the Tigers and then Clemson like stole the Tigers. Also, why are there so many Tiger mascots in the South? They're nowhere else. On the West Coast, we don't have Tigers. Up in the North, Northeast, no Tigers. Only down here, and like every third team is the Tigers. Anyway, the LSU Tigers, the ones led by Joe Burrow, won 42-25 last night. A lot of people are talking about Burrow. I mean, he's obviously going into the draft, could be the #1 pick. What are your predictions for his career? Because he racked up, I think it was 14 touchdowns in his 2 playoff games this year, which is more than the Big Ten and Pac-12 conferences total. This one guy. It's kind of impressive. We wanted to do a shout out to President Trump. Finally, we're talking Oscars. Nominations came out yesterday. We're not going to run down all of them. What we are going to talk about is the SNUBS, because there are a lot of them. So no women were nominated for Best Director, even though a lot of folks thought Greta Gerwig should get the nod for Little Women. And there's only one actor of color nominated in all of the acting categories. And so, you know, this was an issue a couple years ago, the hashtag #OscarsSoWhite, and there's not a lot of diversity again this year. Some of the snubs we're talking about. J-Lo was not nominated for Hustlers. Awkwafina, who won a Golden Globe, not nominated for The Farewell. Eddie Murphy didn't get anything. Lupita Nyong'o in Us. And some people were saying she like basically played 2 roles incredibly well. She was the best part of that movie. I wasn't a huge fan of it. She was great. Also didn't get a nod. So let us know who you think a big snub was. I liked J-Lo in Hustlers. I don't know that she deserves an Oscar nomination for it, but Lupita Nyong'o was really good. Was really, really good. All right, I think I've covered it all, Brendan.
All right, circling back. We could start with a question here from Sabrina. She's asking why it's a bad thing in the first place. Shouldn't the players try and read the pitch coming?
Yes, except for the MLB argues you shouldn't get help from the dugout. if that's the case, then everyone should be able to do it. And it's complicated because it wasn't strictly against the rules, right? It was accepted that this was not okay, and a couple years ago the MLB came out and said we're not allowing this, but didn't put it on the books or something like that. So this is the MLB saying, yeah, we warned you, you did it, and now you'll pay for it.
We have a comment here from Patsy asking if there's any video showing proof. I think this is just reports among. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it started when Mike Fiers came out, former Astros pitcher, and said basically this is what we did. And now there have been several different videos that have come out where you can hear the banging on the trash can. They talked to just about everyone. I mean, here's the thing. The Astros aren't saying this didn't happen. So it's not like this is an allegation that the Astros are denying. No. Jim Crane basically said lower level employees and the players were executing this, that Hinch knew about it. Luhnow says he didn't, but Hinch basically said he's sorry, he should have stopped it. So it's not an allegation that is being refuted.
We have a pair of comments here. We'll go with Sean is asking how many players involved, and with that, Debbie's asking why aren't players being fired?
And I don't know the answer to that. For whatever reason, the MLB decided to hold the GM and manager accountable. Maybe they thought because it was the heir of the team, that they're responsible for everything that happens underneath them. Because according to the report, it was engineered by Alex Cora, executed by players, and then supported by some lower level employees. But it was known. It was known in the team.
Yeah, and then last one here, Andy, speaking of Cora, Andy has a comment here that the Red Sox investigation is almost complete and the penalties will most likely be worse for Alex Cora over there.
Yeah, and so we're waiting for the other shoe to drop there. That's why I said keep the questions coming, because this is no doubt something we're going to be covering for a while. You know, when it came the day after that Texans blowout, I know you probably talked to Lauren about this yesterday, but man, I'm still not over that. I was riding that high, and then.
Yeah, my mom texted me to say that my dad's having a bad week because the two things he loves are Rush and Astros baseball. So he got Neil Peart and the Astros here, so he's having a rough week. So shout out to Dad out there.
Oh.
It'll be okay.
We hope. I mean, right now we're just like watching the Rockets and praying for something good.
Something on Reddit today was, can somebody please bubble wrap James Harden and put him away for a while?
Yeah, let's do that. Any other comments and questions for any of the other stories?
We have a few people talking about this Indiana stalker and saying that this is something to be concerned about. Somebody else, I think, up here, I lost the name, was saying, this is something that you need to be watching out for no matter what.
And kudos to her for being aware, for noticing it, because so often we're absorbed in our phones or everything else that's going on. We're not aware of that kind of danger, and that's what those people capitalize on, right? When you're out running and joggers are attacked, they're counting on you being distracted or just not recognizing that they're there. So. Okay, we have another update coming up at 2:15 this afternoon. You can tune in for that, and we'll be back tomorrow. Have a good day.